Like, I had to have everything. I had to build multiple characters and whatnot. And Final Fantasy 14. No, I build multiple characters. I don't give a fuck if every character can have every profession and class. I still make multiple characters. Yeah, it is because one person I make as a human, and I want to try out another race. And yeah, you can go like at the time I played. I don't know if they added anything into it to allow you to change your species for free.
Not for
but
free.
Back when I'm not going to pay $10 every time I want to fucking play a different race. So I got to sit here and I got to make 5 different fucking races, or I got to make one for each fucking race. And then of course I have to have every class max the level on each one of those fucking races, because then I'm failing.
I mean, that sounds like a personal problem there.
It really is. That's why I don't really play Final Fantasy 14.
See, I'm just good of a gunbreaker because for whatever reason, when I think of Final Fantasy, the only weapon I think of is the gunblade.
Fair. But yeah, no, my issue with Final Fantasy 14 is literally me as a player. That is the issue.
I am the issue.
I am the issue with Final Fantasy 14.
I love it.
No hate on the actual game. And I can understand why they do everything the way they do. No hate on it. I absolutely have a blast when I play it. I'm the problem.
Yeah, I can see that.
So yeah. And they say that's the type of gamer I am. I admit when I'm the problem and not the company. BioWare, they're the problem.
Hi, my name's Zaydik and I'm the problem.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that Final Fantasy VII Remake is an example of a company promising exactly what they delivered, and they did not disappoint?
True.
I have to agree. And they took it in areas I wasn't expecting them to take either.
Both the Final Fantasy Remake and the thing they did after with Yuffie and that side. Both of those.
Yeah.
Really good.
No. Square Enix, when it comes to Final Fantasy VII and a lot of their Final Fantasy games, I will say, they do a great job delivering exactly what they say they're going to deliver.
Sometimes that bites them in the ass.
Yep.
See previous iterations. But for the last few that they've made, I mean, with the MMO and now with the remakes have been fucking stellar. And I enjoyed the hell out of was it 15? Was their latest one?
15 would be, yep.
The car.
Yeah,
with
the car.
Yep.
I enjoyed my time when I was playing that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are giving flack to 16, but I think 16 is also looking very promising. It's one of those things I need to wait until I know more about.
I was expecting, considering how long we've had footage from 15, like the actual the way he fights with summoning weapons, with how long we've been waiting and how much. Because there was footage of that game back when I was in high school. I know, because there's an AMV that I had from an Evanescence AMV from high school I had that, and it had the battle scene from that, and had mashed it up with Kingdom Hearts battle with the Riku battle when he's still in his full cloak. So it was a mashup of those two and maybe one other game, and it was the entire time I'm thinking, this game looks amazing, I can't wait for it to come out. And that was when I was in high school.
Damn, I don't know what amazes me more, how we get along so well knowing that we're so different, or deep down that kind of we're the same person.
That's how it is for a lot of the group, though. I mean, we're all fundamentally different, but so connected in taste and way we think and whatnot, And we'll go on a big thing. I'm not going to get into the long talk, because that's a very long talk. But all of us generally share varying political differences with how with what we do, and usually you don't get a bunch of friends that have major political differences that actually enjoy and can have so much fun together, um, and not be down each other's throats. Um, that speaks a lot to everybody in this group that we play to. We are vastly different, but are connected in our friendship by a lot of things that we all share very passionately about.
Mm-hmm.
The song was My Immortal, by the way.
Yep, that's what I thought you were. I couldn't think of the name,
no.
but the song was stuck in my head. I couldn't think of the name for a moment, but yeah, yeah.
Damn, that hit me right there because I had a couple
Yeah.
A and Bs with that song that
Yeah.
That's because every AMV ever made could go along with that song.
It really could.
There was a bunch of Naruto anime AMVs
Yep.
with like the song "Impossible" on it, or
There's a couple
hell.
good Dragon Ball
When
Z
I was
ones,
in high school, one of the more entertaining things I did is I just started a playlist on YouTube of AMVs. Every time I come across one of a song I liked, I put in there, and there was way more Evanescence than should have been. Basically, I go and I looked at it, and My Immortal came up more often than I wanted to admit to in that particular playlist. And when you combine it with the fact that with AMVs, I hit the 200 mark, which is the max you can have in a playlist, inordinately quickly. I think it took a year, and I wasn't trying. It was just, oh, that's good. I'll go ahead and save that in my playlist. And I think I still have that playlist.
Nice. I got a weird ass email like 3 days ago, and I forgot all about it, and I was curious, and I clicked on it and whatnot. But they're like, you have been inactive for some time on MySpace. We're about to delete your account. I was like, is this thing still up?
That's kind of what I was wondering. Like, is MySpace still a thing?
I clicked on a link, it took me to it, and like all the pictures and ads and whatnot all had like the broken image icon. And I was like, glitch in the Matrix or something, man. I have no idea, but okay.
I didn't know if I'm still living in 1990, so I had to double check and see if MySpace actually came. Oh my God, MySpace actually comes up. What's the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
MySpace get a resurgence considering Facebook is going stupid.
Oh, but yeah, no, that was, I was like, what? All right, but I gotta go piss. Then let's go ahead and start. If somebody wants to do the recap, go ahead and do the recap. I don't really remember what happened last session.
It's been a couple weeks.
I've been drinking since last session and tonight, so I don't.
All I remember is the mindfuckery.
Oh yeah, the Lord of Nightmare and Terrors. That happened. Anyways, be right back. Gotta piss.
Yep.
Oh, before I forget, Dan, there was some side stuff that I did that I need to go ahead and inform you of.
Okay.
Let me see if I can. Sorry, it's been a while.
Right.
It's been a while. Well.
I taught the Chiron. He's gonna start testing me more. The way he compared the Lord of Nightmares and Twisted Fates is he said the Dark Messiah compared to him as a child. He holds domains just as gods do. He would tell you Solon thinks he is free of him, but he is not.
Solon is free of who?
Solon thinks he is free of the Lord of Nightmares and Twisted Fates, but he is not. And Chiron would warn, if you wish to keep Drake hidden from him, never let the Archfey of Nightmares and Twisted Fates lay eyes upon him, for even Drake's stealth will not protect him from him.
Okay. As soon as we start game, Drake is going to be making an appearance before all of us. That particular problem was taken care of.
Okay.
Because I was off in a alternate dimension for a little bit.
Yeah.
Side note, you guys aren't getting the orb back. Because there's only 2 people in existence that can use this orb. That would be Xandric and Drake.
Ah, okay. The one that split you off into your, like, I don't want to say your personalities, but
Correct. Side note, also, this is it's more cinematic than anything, but a correction needed to be made from the last session. There were not 3 Drakes, there were 4.
okay.
The 4th one had a draconic appearance, representing his Dragon Lord heritage.
All right, I'm back.
I was just telling them that from a cinematic point of view, there was a correction we needed to make. Drake actually split into 4 personalities, not just 3.
Yeah.
The orb isn't splitting you into 3 personalities. It splits you into however many aspects of yourself exist.
Okay.
So for Charlie, it would most likely be your Order of Palestone, or not Order of Palestone. No, Palestone was right.
Yeah, Palestone Direct.
A Reaper and probably a Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
You might have something else thrown in there, but that's what it separates off into.
Yeah.
But you have to have complete. You have to be at peace with yourself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And to such an extent that you have to be able to completely dominate your other aspects to the point where they begin to work together as a single whole. And there's only 2 people that have been through training rigorous enough to actually pull that off. Xandric, when he went through his Vault of Sins situation, and Drake, when you went through both his time stint where he was by himself for thousands of years, or thousands of potential years, depending on how you want to look at that, as well as everything he's gone through with his father. So he's not going to be giving that orb back to the group. So if you all want to ask him for something, he currently owes us.
Yeah. All right. So where are we picking up, guys? Sorry, last couple weeks have been busy as fuck for me. Last thing that transpired
Is the Drake thing, because then he got sent off into
well, he was
an
sent
alternate
off.
dimension.
You try to fuck with the Lord of Nightmare and Terrors, and then he reflected that back onto your mother. He captured Oberon.
I also just told Dan the side stuff that I did with Chiron and the warnings he told me.
And with my side stuff, that'll be revealed in game here when we start.
Yep. Well, because you got one whole day where Drake is where he's at.
Yep.
So, what do y'all do? I'm more what I can't remember, and I do apologize. Next week I will not be drinking before game. Um, where did we leave off? What square? Where were you all located at?
I think we're at that one temple, that floating island temple.
Yeah.
What hex is that on?
It's off the map as far as I'm aware.
Oh, the risen temple from the depths.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of floating islands and whatnot, so I wanted to make sure you said floating, and that's where my mind went.
Yeah.
Risen temple. Gotcha. All right.
As
so
I'm finishing up my, because Chucky was going to help me with the statue if you were still up for that, right, Josh?
Yeah, I can.
Did you all converse with each other about what transpired with the Lord of Nightmares and Terror? I can't remember if you all did that before in the session or not, or if this is where everybody's convening after after going through everything that happened.
I think it's convenient after everything that happened.
Gotcha.
I know Solon was freeing us with his one power of influence of stuff. So I know we had discussed a little bit at least.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. I'm just drawing a blank on the last bits of it. I blame Kahlua mudslides. So, what do y'all do? You're going to help him finish his statue?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know how much that reduces time, Derek.
It would reduce it by half. I would allow it to be reduced by half because he's a legendary crafter himself.
Josh, you're the one keeping track of days, right? Did you make note of how many days I was going to be disposed after this point?
It's 13 days left. So half of that is
Round it down.
6 days.
6 days. Something's coming up with you, Josh. How many days until that goes through?
4.
4 days. All right.
Okay.
And that's easy enough to still do because you're on the, you're on the Risen Island. You're taking a break from helping them, and you're on the shoreline of it.
So all of a sudden, in front of everyone.
Oh, hold on. Before the complete. Oh, Drake. My bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead. One day has elapsed.
All of a sudden, Drake seems to materialize in front of the group. That was a trip and a half.
Yeah. Feel free to ask any questions you have. That was funny. That was kind of cute too. Sam was like, "Second father, are you okay?" Drake attracts all the strays.
Drake says, "I am aware of what's gone down. I have a way to distract the Lord of Nightmares. How long I'm able to distract him for, I don't know. To that end, I'm buying time for you all. Any plans or anything you wish to come up with in order to counteract him would not be a bad idea. I'm going to be me and Xandric are going to be busy in both the Abyss, and I'm going to be busy distracting him from being able to mess with everything. at least for the foreseeable future. So if you all have anything you need from me, now would be the time.
Anything that you need to ask him or want of Drake, Sam? Josh.
I'm thinking,
Oberon.
Does he know what happened to Oberon? Because we saw him get like taken through the portal, but we don't know anything besides that.
Oberon is, or was played, he is significantly weaker than the Lord of Nightmares. He is currently imprisoned by said Lord. My recent trip has improved my stealth capabilities once again. I should be able to avoid even the Lord of Nightmares' gaze. Actually, and for the record, not even the observatory can now spot me if I wish to remain undetected.
What can I do? Can you play Lucy? Can I play on the Switch?
Do you know where
Anything?
he's being held prisoner?
Yes, he is currently in the Fey realm. He's captured not just them, he's captured all of the Archfey. His ability to redirect abilities is troublesome. Trying to think if I end up telling you about this or not, or if I just let you guys plan around it.
Well, that depends on how Drake would view it, because the Lord of Nightmares and Terror is a prime deity level threat.
Yeah. So he says once the current Mother of Monsters has finished going through her transformation, which will not be a fast process, but once that's finished, he will begin his own transformation process, stepping into the mantle of death. Once he's assumed the mantle of death, that'll be the end game. That'll be when we launch everything we have against the adversary. There will be no waiting. There will be no more planning, and there will be no more maneuvering. Once he's finished his uplifting, it's time for us to move. So whatever plans you wish to make, whatever allies you have or wish to try to call forth, that is your hard deadline. Because we will either win or lose upon his ascension.
any ideas on how better to resist his mind fuckery?
Your Actually, a couple. Your best bets are to increase your natural passive resistances, and not focus much on your active abilities. Your active abilities will just end up being deflected to those you care about. But passively resisting him, there's nothing to reflect. Um, Another good avenue to pursue would be unlocking more divine temples on this island, allowing a greater flourishing of divine power and a resurrecting of divine influence, as you've done with 2 sacred beasts already.
3.
What's the third? We've done the
It
Thunderbird.
was
And
the
we've done the Phoenix.
spider. What was it? Sorry.
The Phoenix and the Thunderbird we've done. Oh,
Oh, damn!
there's
I
just the
thought
passive.
two different
But
things. Two different. Yeah.
I
Sorry.
was talking about the.
Yep.
Yeah. The bringing back to life those species,
Yep.
and the unlocking of more temples to empower the temple we currently reside in. This temple of origin may be able to provide you an adequate platform to resist his influence.
Would that also help with those of us with other domains that he potentially has access to?
Depends on how your domains work. If your domain is an outgrowth of you, in other words, depends on if it's a demiplane or if it's a personal domain. A personal domain comes from you, so therefore he has to be nearby you in order to access it. Whereas if it's a personal demiplane, that he can access from the outside. So
Pretty sure
theoretically,
mine's a demiplane.
yeah, your death realm is a demiplane.
Yeah.
Sam's zoo is a demiplane.
Mm-hmm.
But your horde, for instance, is a personal domain.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Solon's grove is a personal domain. I believe the seed's already been removed from them, right, Derek? So they're no longer able to. He's no longer able to track them, right, from their to their demiplanes and personal planes.
Oh, he's still able to. That hasn't been.
Drake removed, or Solon removed the connection with his divine ability. That's what I'm wondering, if that actually worked or if it didn't work.
You'll have to find out.
Drake's asking because he can see the connection, especially now that he's
Drake?
exempt from the laws.
Oh no, Solon was unable to. He believes he did because the Lord of Nightmare and Terror is allowing him to believe that he did.
And Drake is going to warn you that
everything Solon believes that he has accomplished against the Lord of Nightmares and Terror is because he's allowing him to believe that he's accomplished them.
Drake burst Solon's bubble.
Again, that's why I wanted. I remember last, or at least in a couple of your all side sessions. This is a prime D. This is Paylor and his prime level threat.
I believe the thing you told me was he is to Oberon as the Chain Oblivion is to Paylor.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'll take that for what you will. That's what Drake has to say. If anybody has anything, any other questions or anything else like that, any other concerns, now would be the time to bring them up.
Like Drake would know that the Lord of Nightmare and Terror has an absolute fascination with Thrasimund. He does not fear him like the other gods do. He's absolutely fascinated by him. Kind of like how he's become absolutely fascinated by you. So yes, anything y'all wish to, this is the time, because Drake is going to be MIA. There is no calling him for assistance or anything like that, because he has a lot of shit he has to do.
Right now, my immediate concern would be the connection that I know that the Archfey has to my Jimmy plane right now.
For the record, you'll be able to call. It's just Drake won't be able to respond in nearly as many times as.
Yeah. I already have.
And for simplicity's sake, so like if you call on Drake for for assistance and whatnot, because him and Xandric are going to be doing a lot of stuff to prepare, and then try to figure out exactly what he's doing, there will be a flat check DC 16 that's rolled. So you have to roll a 16 or better to find Drake at a moment where he's actually able to come help.
Yes, that'll work out. That will work well. I have to AFK for a couple minutes. Think of anything you want to ask Drake, and otherwise Drake is going to disappear. Like he said, you'll be able to.
You can talk.
He'll be able to draw He'll be able to draw the Lord of Nightmare's gaze away from the group. At least in the short term, it's all a matter of how long he can keep the Lord of Nightmare's attention.
I have nothing new to ask. I know Chiron's going to test me, so I know kind of what I need to do.
Fair. Josh, Sam, anything, because it's going to be hard to get Drake's help going forth.
So we're not actually free from
No.
what's called influence right now?
No.
So don't go to my vault. Gotcha.
I mean, you can.
So how are we free from that?
Unless you can bring to bear outside forces against the Lord of Nightmares. Because remember, the only one that's going up against him right now is Drake. The more people you can bring against the Lord of Nightmares, the more his gaze will be drawn away from you, and the safer it will be for us to enter our various planes.
Zedek, I forgot to ask this during any side stuff or anything. Have any of my Reapers actually been made, or are they still?
They're propping up and sporadic. You know, you have the bulk of them won't be finished for some time.
Okay.
I can't remember if I gave you an actual time frame on that.
You did not give me
No,
an actual
I have
time
it.
frame.
I have it written down in one of my notes. I can find for you and let you know.
Okay.
All right. So nothing else for Drake.
Okay.
Well,
Oh.
does Drake have plans to potentially save Oberon?
Yes.
Is there any way that we can be of assistance, or would it be better to just let you do your thing?
It depends. If you want. It all depends on what you want from him, or from Oberon. Because Drake says Drake's fairly confident in the potential or the protection of this temple, right, Derek? Considering the level, the number of deities that are involved in this temple, even right now, with there being 3 prime deities.
He could come here and make your all his day live in hell, but the protection there keeps him from fully. He would have to find a way to either pervert the statues or destroy them entirely.
Okay.
Which is hard to do because you have 3 active now and you're working on 1 for Io.
So, the way Drake phrases it is, he has a plan to free Oberon. But in freeing him, he'll most likely be bringing him somewhere where the Dark Messiah is not, or Dark Messiah, where the Lord of Nightmares isn't going to be able to get at him.
Hey, let him find Xandric and he'll make sure he brings the Dark Messiah back.
No.
No.
He's this villain that really makes you hate all the villains you fought before because he just keeps resurrecting them.
It wouldn't work because conflicting personalities, they would destroy each other. Chaos can't stand other sources of chaos. It literally does not work. That's why the Beastmen always fight the Changed in Warhammer.
Yep.
But back to Sam's question. If you wish for him to be useful and not trapped in the safe location that I bring him, which is going to be Draconia, because Draconia should be safe from even his perversions.
For now, anyways.
For now. If you wish to make use of him, finding a way to empower Oberon might be your best bet. And this is to be the perfect island to do it. If you can strengthen Oberon, he could feasibly match the Lord of Nightmares. If he's a match for the Lord of Nightmares, that would be of incredible assistance to being able to limit his influence. But you'd have to find a way to empower him. That's the only thing Drake can think of. By all means, if you wish to help him in some other way, like some way to protect him from the influence of the Lord of Nightmares, that would be a viable option, so he can at least take action. But realistically speaking, unless you're a deity, your ability to act and not be hindered by the Lord of Nightmares is going to be incredibly difficult, especially when he begins to ignore me.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, anything else for Drake? If not, he buggers off and does Drake things.
Nope, not for me.
I can't think of anything. No.
Okay. Xandric, and isn't he still dealing with that tumor-like growth?
That would have been days ago.
I'm drawing a blank on it. What exactly happened to that? I can find my notes, unless you can tell me real quick.
He got it off of the sword, and then he opened the gate underneath it to a different place. Either a star on a different plane or a black hole.
That's right. I believe it was a black hole.
Oh, one other thing Drake lets you all know. So he's going to let you know how the enemy works.
Okay.
The big bad enemy. I forgot about that, Derek, so I'm going to go and let him,
for it.
Let him know now. The enemy we all seek to face, the ruler of Abaddon. He is essentially one giant power source. Every action he takes deducts from that power source, it takes him an unbelievable amount of time to regain that energy through natural sleep. And as a matter for the long story short, for all intents and purposes, it's so negligible, it's not worth taking in consideration what he's regaining through sleep.
Okay.
But when he consumes another galaxy, he drastically increases the energy that he has to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Drake has sent off warnings to the Court of Stars to warn the powerhouses of the other planes, other dimensions, of what he is attempting to do. The enemy is attempting to consume those galaxies in order to increase in energy.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it at least resist. Like the being able to consume the galaxy is at least there's some resistance to it, and it actually could end up being that the enemy doesn't gain any energy if the plane resists hard enough. Now, with the power horses of that various planes being made aware of, they will actually begin to resist the enemy's consumption. So, outside of something drastic happening, everything you can do to hinder the enemy to make him expend energy makes him that much weaker when it comes time for the final confrontation. In no way is Drake saying should you launch preemptive or suicidal attacks against the enemy. But for instance, if you're able to eliminate any of the avatars on this plane, it will directly consume energy for him to remake and recreate avatars. If you're able to do anything against the Daemon Lords themselves, it takes an incredible amount of energy to reconstitute the Daemon Lords. And Drake has a theory that even the respawning of daemons back on Abaddon is a direct drain on the enemy. He hasn't fully proven that one out yet, but Drake believes that the reason they're able to reconstitute like they are is because of the direct pool of energy that is the main enemy.
Who do you mean by the actual avatars? You mean like the avatars of the Four Horsemen bad guys, or
Yes.
okay?
Basically, the more you weaken the Four Horsemen, the more direct energy the adversary has to keep employing in order to keep them relevant. If you're actually able to destroy a horseman, like the destruction of the Horse of Famine or the destruction of the Grim Reaper, and the freeing of the separating of death, those are requiring an unbelievable amount of energy for the adversary to recover from. When you eventually, he points at Josh, when you eventually launch your attacks with lizard folk weapon, that'll drain an inordinate amount of energy from the adversary, whether you target him or the plane he's residing on. And I still don't think you should target the plane. Those are the kinds of things to keep an eye on, because any opportunity you have to drain the adversary, one, weakens him for the final confrontation. It also means there's less he can actually do to mess with any plans or any preparations we actually may make.
I do have a handy dandy spreadsheet that I update with everything significant you all do to detract from his power.
Okay.
Yes. So Drake goes, like you said, Drake explains that. He actually has a spell he crafted while he was away, and he gave it to the Court of Stars, but it is a measurement of the adversary's energy. So the Court of Stars actually has a point of reference for how much he's been curtailed.
Do we actually know the location of where the Mother of Monsters is being transformed right now?
On Abaddon itself.
On Abaddon itself.
Yeah.
And she's being protectively watched by the fallen Court of Stars.
Well, fuck, it's not like I have a back door. Oh, wait, yeah, I do.
Take that for what you will.
I'm not saying that I have a back door in Abaddon, but, you know, I'm not saying that.
So that's everything I got to tell you. Like I said, I got AFK for a minute or two. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right. So 3 days are going to pass unless there's anything that you all want to do. Because there is shit that Josh, his little side thing, transpired. And I will let him tell you what he decides to do with it and what transpires. But in those 3 days, is there anything that Araxis, Gavin, or Carell wishes to do?
Has Chiron let me know what he wants to do as far as testing goes? Is it something I need to do daily with him?
What was his exact wordings? Because I had to scroll up in our Skype session to find it.
I did too.
Damn it, Charlie.
I said I did, which means I have.
Oh, okay. My bad.
You get the idea that he will test that.
When he was talking about you must divorce yourself from
Yep.
the
And I told him, yeah, I think I can do that. I didn't know if that's one he wants me to come back to the
do me a
domain every
favor
time
and
and
copy
test.
and paste exactly what I said and repost it to me real quick so I have a point of reference.
You want me to do like the little bit of conversation when it came into that topic from both sides?
Just specifically what he said that you had to do, pretty much.
Okay.
And this stuff is dangerously good.
Okay. Boom. Those are the three conversations. You saying what he said when he specified the strings being cut, what he actually meant by that, my answer, and then his quote-unquote response. It's back to when I said that I can
Copy. Yeah, no, that's something you're going to have to prove to him, like as time goes, kind of thing. And you get an idea that he is going to test it and maybe manipulate things to put you in a position where you have to.
Okay.
And I'm going to be bringing my notes up on that in there in a second. Sam has a question for me. 1 second.
I'm back, by the way.
Okay.
All right, and I did bring up what I had planned for that, Charlie.
Okay.
So, as the night that Drake, departs and everything, you find yourself, you all go through the rest, various things like that. There is a void. And as you and your companions, begin your next day and whatnot, you notice that Nair is nowhere to be found.
I don't feel connection to her. I don't get any answer.
You do not hear her thoughts. You do not feel her. You just feel a void where she once occupied.
Uh,
And all of you notice this as well. The next day has come. Solon and Corell are waking up to, begin crafting the statue. Or working more on the statue. Raxus, you've finished your perimeter walk because you only got to sleep for 2 hours because of your ring. When you come back from your perimeter, as you finish your perimeter walk and watch and everything like that, all of you notice Nair is missing.
you can have love and take me on.
So where's Nair going?
I couldn't tell you, but I think I know what's going on. Just let me deal with it.
Okay. Do you need any help?
Not that I know of. I was told I was going to be tested, and I think this is it.
He's gonna be all right, though, right? Take that as you don't know.
I have a concern.
And you can have that concern.
Same. I mean, we're stuck with the eminently less useful half of that particular relationship.
Well, this is kind of out of game because
Really trying to be tempered right now.
my character doesn't know that there's a void where she was with their connection or whatever. So if he were to die during this test, is his soul then up for grabs if they're disconnected currently? Because she's supposed to be the anchor for his soul.
Everybody's quiet.
Uh-huh. Because I think most people know the answer to that. I'm trying to think. I will tell Solon that my next step is severing my mortality. I might take some time to search, but the part of her that's supposed to be in my head, there is just void there at the moment.
Probably a little jarring for you, considering you've spent so much time connected.
Yeah, definitely. I have nothing to go on with around me with my side or anything on path she was taken or any type of anything like that. Then, right?
Even if you use your hunter's sight, there does not seem to be any disturbance. You see where she once was, and no tracks lead. There's no tracks other than you and your companions. Nothing.
I would tell the others, let me handle it. I'll try and search.
Are you sure you don't need any help?
Yeah, I'm sure. You guys have stuff to do.
Okay. So, over the course of the next 3 days, is there anything you all wish to do before we get to the side stuff that happened with Josh? You're going to be searching, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Solon, or Corral and Solon, are going to be working on the statue.
Yep.
Did we ever? I don't think we did. Did we ever look into the hidden passages that were opened when that big unlock thing happened? Because the temple has a bunch
No.
of unlocked passages right now.
Not yet. If you're looking for something to do, I say to Araxis, you could explore those passages.
I could do that. I also have a question for our timekeeper. How many days have gone by since we had that encounter with my little demon waking up and Kirby swallowing everything?
That's been. I didn't actually mark that down, but I'm guessing that's been at least a week, if not 2 weeks. Maybe 3.
I don't think it's been 3. One was
I think it's closer to 2.
Sounds about right.
Because it was a situation where... No.
When did
Were
he
we
do
in
the
the
Kirby?
cave?
No, y'all are fighting those Daemon Lords, rescuing Kui.
Yeah, up on the mountain.
Up on the
that
mountain.
was at least 9 days ago because we started the
At
9
least.
days of operation. So
It was at least more than a day ago.
no, at least 9 days ago.
At least 9.
So I'm gonna guess it easily could round that up to a little bit over a week or 2 weeks. A week is
We're not doing that again in the reboot.
if you actually made like a calendar.
Nope,
system,
not doing
wouldn't be so bad.
No, it's still jarring. It's too jarring.
I mean, we had a calendar.
You can be if you want.
Okay, so Mr. DM, is there any change with my little demony dude?
He looks as if he's more plump. Like his belly, as he's sleeping, is enlarged, as if he has been feasting.
Demon anatomy, but have I identified him? Sure.
You're not sure. And it's not even just like a normal demon either. It's not like, again, it's pitch black. There is no defining features of him other than the silhouette of its body. So you do not know if it is male or female. So,
I'm exploring tunnels, I guess.
okay. So as you explore the tunnels, the biggest thing you know is each tunnel corresponds to one. Each tunnel corresponds to one of below each of the statues belonging to one of the deities. Each hallway, each corridor has 2 rooms, one on each side. One is a communal like living area and sleeping area, gathering, so forth, so on. The other one is the study area, more appropriate for the deity that the chamber belongs to. At the end of the corridor, there is a magically sealed chamber, just pulsating with radiant energy that corresponds to the deity. If you try to enter, depending on what deity, trial and error and whatnot, you are unable to enter, and there's an extreme amount of pain that washes over you when you try to enter.
Well, there'd be a special way that I would try to enter, if that would make any kind of difference.
You can try.
I would know which corridor corresponds with which deity.
The ones that are active, yes, and the ones that when you go down the corridors, the ones for the statues that haven't been fixed and brought back and whatnot, that chamber where there's magic seals on Cord, Melora, and Sarenrae. It's just an empty chamber with what looks to be like an altar in the center, but everything else about it is nondescript and it's barren.
Are they set up about the same way?
Yes.
Okay, so the ones that have this magical barrier are the ones where the statues are complete and okay.
Yep.
I want to try entering the ones that are magically sealed. Which of the deities are the statues completed for?
Cord, which is a war god, domain of storms that he took from his ex, Melora, pretty much. Honor, battle, courage, so forth, so on. You have Melora, which is the goddess of nature, beasts, plants, elements, whatnot. And then you have Sarenrae, the sun goddess, flame, healing, redemption, purity, so forth, so on.
I may need that information again, but I want to try. I'm not a magical type person, but I know enough about magic to know where the barrier is.
Mhm.
I want to put my hand up, just not touching it, but like close enough that I could almost touch it. I want to close my eyes and basically think really hard, but like send a mental message just out to the void in front of this barrier, paying my respects to that specific deity that I'm in front of their barrier, and ask permission if I may enter.
Okay, give me a religion check. We'll start with Cord.
Would it trigger considering she has a greater blessing of cord?
Mm-hmm. I was thinking it too.
DC is substantially lower with the blessing she has. You hear a booming voice. You've heard Cord speak once before. This is not him. This is one of his right hands, if you will. You have been blessed by my lord, but you are not faithful. Your heart belongs to another. What do you bring to the god of war and the vengeance of storms?
Like an offering, or just like what makes me
That's all
worthy?
he says.
Can I roll something to try to determine that?
Yeah, you can give me another religion roll. This one is not affected by your blessing, because that just says, hey, I'm blessed by Cord, yay. You're new to this whole religion thing.
My character will take it as, since I'm not a follower of, I don't have the right to enter. So I will,
Dan, you're eating your mic, buddy.
I'll give my respects and I will back away and leave, taking note that I'm going to tell the party about what I discovered.
Okay, and to help expedite this, since we started late, you get pretty much the same thing from the other two areas.
Have Dan and I decided where we were going to put the statue for Io once it's completed? I mean, within the temple, but weren't there?
Dan, your mic's really loud, buddy.
I haven't been making any noise.
We hear everything you're doing. Or I do, anyways. It's weird.
Yeah.
I keep hearing shifting and moving around, and
Yeah.
Didn't you say that there were like 3 statues that were going to be like permanently destroyed because their deities are no longer no longer exist?
Correct.
And Dan's just upstairs, isn't he?
Yes.
I want to go back upstairs and discuss with Dan where we want to put the statue, and
Tell him what you found, so forth, so on.
yeah, update him on my discoveries, potentially pick a spot, and then I want to go down that tunnel and see if there's like magically a thing for Io.
Okay.
So she informs you on, even though she has the blessing, she cannot enter these rooms. Without a offering or proving herself, she hasn't determined what exactly it means. And where y'all are going to put Io's statue.
And then I want to go down the tunnel for the statue of Io and see if there's like a magical barrier that pops up.
Yeah, but we have to finish the statue first.
Yeah, the statue isn't finished yet.
But the intent is there.
The intent is there. When you place the statue wherever it's going to be, just help expedite. Wherever you place the statue, figure out where it's going to be, and you go down. There is a new corridor that shifts to make, accommodations. Basically, Bahamut and Tiamat come together.
And since there's not a completed statue there, there's like a further corridor, but it's like empty, like the rest of the ones. Cool. Okay.
All right. And then the last chamber you find is kind of, it's empty at first, and then when you step in it, you start seeing various different things form out of the ether. And then you see this very old robed individual. Looks to be male. Long flowing beard, white as snow.
Gandalf.
No. Because, well, Gandalf.
Wrong universe.
Well, and I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan.
Wow.
I'm sorry. It's not that great. I love fantasy. Lord of the Rings, not that great.
We're no longer compatible.
It's not my fault, Conan's better.
There's no wizards.
There is.
Not like Gandalf.
Because
Okay, please stop
Gandalf.
helping. As a huge Lord of the Rings fan, even I acknowledge Gandalf is a shitty wizard.
Well, technically, he's not even a real wizard because they're not wizards. There's some other, divine being. The wizards are.
Yeah, they're spirits, but that's not the point. The point is, if you're going to be a wizard, you need to cast more than 4 spells.
You know what? And not have them CGI the spell effects in later iterations of the same movie. Because the original, if you remember the original, going to the theaters, especially when Gandalf is fighting the Balrog, and he throws his staff up saying "You shall not pass," and there's nothing there, and you watch the remaster and you actually see this magical force field that arises up. Just saying.
It's not just the remaster, because in the original, when the Balrog whip strikes, you still see the shield. It's just you didn't see the shield outside of when the Balrog whips.
That's fair. But still, yeah, Gandalf is not a great example of an actual wizard.
Moving on.
But Lord of the Rings is awesome.
Harry Potter is more of a wizard than fucking Gandalf.
Okay, now you're crossing lines.
Now you're crossing the line. Now you fucked up.
I just had to get my jab in there. Don't get me wrong. I like Lord of the Rings. I'm not going over this again. We all know my stance on Lord of the Rings. It's good, but it's not the masterpiece that people claim it to be, and I don't give a fuck what any of you say.
And you are perfectly entitled to be wrong.
Only if I was.
Well, you are, so...
No, I'm sorry, I'm not.
So, back to Santa Claus.
Welcome, Raxus. I was curious when you or your companions would find your way down here. This is, how would you say, in your current tongue, the armory, It's hard keeping all the ages together in my head. But this is where some of the greatest works of creation from the creators have been forged. From the most mundane of trinkets that strike all the nations wide to the most devastating of weaponry that can cleave mountains and reshape the very earth you walk on.
Put a shovel.
He extends his hand and there's a shovel.
We call it Earth Splitter. Digs holes really well.
It's a dwarven design.
Yep, dwarven design.
No,
When you start
ironically,
digging
elfin.
and just start singing the diggy diggy hole song.
Uh, uh,
No.
this is why I drink.
I feel like revenge has been dished back towards Derek. I appreciate that, Josh.
You win this round. All right. So yes, what do you do?
So you know who I am, but I don't know who you are. Unless I've forgotten.
Unless I've forgotten.
As you say, he knows who you are. He lists your name, your father's name, your mother's name, and your whole entire family tree to the point of their inception.
Cool. So he has access to the internet.
He has access to the internet.
It's Ancestry.com.
All right. He thinks for a moment. It has been so long since I've actually had guests. I do not recall my own name. Since the fall of the temple and the sundering of the world and much of the ley lines being disheveled or outright destroyed, my mind is not as it once was.
What would you like to be called? It would be rude of me to give you a name.
Done that a few times.
With animals, this is a person.
I think they object to your labeling them as animals.
Wow.
They were intelligent and awesome.
Ezra. You can call me Ezra.
Well, Ezra, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. What do you do down here?
I am the keeper of all that was created and left within the chambers. Yes, Chamber of Secrets. I have much here. And he waves his hand, and again, where there's empty spots, you just see like stalls filled with various jewelries or tools and the like. He says, when the worthy return here, my stores will be open once more. You and your companions have finally come.
I take a look around to the different things on the stalls, and I ask, what is needed to obtain an item or a few items from here?
Felt like I had a burp there, sorry. You and your companions have done much to raise this. How would you put it in your tongue? Place of origin. Speak your intent. That is all I ask.
My intent is to, because the tunnels are under the temple, right?
Yes.
Okay. My intent is to bring the temple back to its full glory. Some of the statues are going to be irreplaceable, but I am going to be adding in place a new statue along with training creatures and beings to defend this place so that all may enjoy what is offered here, as well as pay their respects, worship, whatever they need to do, seek blessings from their deities.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to get to your point.
I have hit a snag. There are 3 doors that I cannot pass.
Hold on. Dogs. Sorry, dogs being loud.
There are 3 doors that I cannot pass without proving that I am either worthy or having an offering to their specific deities. I am curious if you have anything here that may grant me passage.
And what is it you seek by gaining access? You have told me your want, but what is your intent?
That is a good question. I don't seek any personal gain for accessing what's beyond the doors. Uh, I suppose it's my curiosity as well as what could be behind the doors could aid in the protection of this temple. Possibly.
Curiosity only takes you so far without real intent. Some of the creators would look disfavorably upon that, at treading in a place that you have no real purpose. Others would be amused by such things.
I guess I'm still trying to discover my purpose.
Then, when you have more, when you have a better idea of what it is you seek, then I would suggest you come. But if it is protection for the island you wish, that I can help you with. And he waves his hand, and you see this small kind of square that is filled with immense energy. Place this within the heart of this once great land. and it shall be protected, forged and crafted by. Oh my God! I draw a blank on his name. Morden. Sorry, Morden, and blessed by all the original hands. He moves his hand out towards you. Yep.
Out of game, I feel like this is a bad idea, touching things I don't know what they are. But then again, I've also thrown things into black goo to see what would happen. I'll reach out and I'll take it. And I give my thanks.
Okay.
Hey
It
guys, look what I found.
It vibrates with immense power, but it is not harmful to you in any way. Makes a great nightlight. And it has some weight to it, so, good paperweight as well. Dual function. All right, so what do you do?
I will turn to leave, but hesitate and ask if I'm free to come back at any time, or if there's special circumstances for me to see him and the rest of the room as I see it now.
You are free to return anytime you wish, along with your companions.
So they can show. I will say thank you again, and I will go show Dan what I found.
Okay. As you leave and you turn around, everything's gone. Like it's just the empty room, just like it was before you crossed a certain threshold.
I want to check the other rooms.
Okay.
The ones that look empty from the outside, but I actually want to walk in.
Okay. When you walk in, there is a ambient energy about them, weak, but still humming there.
No people show up, nothing like stalls or anything appear.
Nope.
Okay, now I'll go show Dan.
Hello.
Dan, I found a thing.
Who's
Or-
Dan?
Solon, I found a thing. I show him the cube. I also tell him about what did he say his name was?
Ezra.
Ezra. I tell him about Ezra, the room, what he says the cube does, everything.
Did he say what was on the other side of the doors?
He did not.
So what are you going to do about it? I mean, with the cube.
Well, he said for this land to be protected, I have to plant this cube in the heart of it. Whatever that means. Which maybe if we talk to the locals that we trust, they may have a better idea.
It depends on what he means by center of the land. You have the center of these 3 islands, which would be gesture in a particular direction because we're kind of close to the water island as we speak, which would be in the center of the triangle of the 3 islands.
And this was risen above it.
Yep.
Technically, this island is the heart or the center of the island.
Yeah, but you said the heart of the land, not the
of
center.
this great land.
But the heart of it, you
At
never.
the heart of this great land.
But
or
the
this-
heart doesn't mean the center.
Exactly.
could be
I
different.
just said center because he was talking about like, the center. This is technically the center because it was risen from the water.
But is there a difference between the center of this great land and the heart of this great land? Because those could be two different locations.
Could be. If so, we haven't come across anything different. And typically, if you're talking about a protection spell, the heart of the formation is the center of the formation.
I don't know magic or protection stuff as well as you do, so I have no arguments to be made.
All right. So what do you do with it, if anything?
Well, I have a bag of holding that I could put it in. I have pockets I could put it in, but that doesn't seem very wise. I can't store it in my little pocket dimension because I've got an unwelcome visitor that can show up at any time if I go there.
Okay,
I don't have any real safe place for it.
have all the doors been and passageways been explored at this point?
Yes.
Okay, this temple is technically sitting in the heart of the islands, correct?
Correct, if you will.
Or the center of the islands?
Yeah.
Okay. Why not go try to find the center of the temple? And see if it has a receptacle for said power source.
I will go do that.
You look
Do I know
around.
of any rooms that could... I explored all the rooms and the tunnels. Did I have any kind of like spidey senses that there's like a magic something, like a hidden door?
No spider sense.
Can I point her in the direction of where the center of the temple would be?
Center of the temple, as you look around, there doesn't seem to be anything that's a receptacle for it.
Okay, what if I take the cube and set it in my palm, and I kind of like lift my palm and like point it around like the open room to see if like there's a different like buzzing frequency or something?
So as you all are working on this statue and whatnot, you see Araxes going around with this cube held up and just looking around, and that's
So I actually have an idea about the cube thing. This was an ancient entity. Dan, why don't you look at your the atlas? What was the heart of this great land? What was the center of this great land when it was all one?
That's not something I could scry on necessarily because I need a location. I could watch countless hours of footage and try to find a point when the temple was last used, and then rewind it until the power source or the protections was removed. I don't have years though.
What are you talking about? You're young.
Or the patience.
See, that's more of the issue.
Hey, somebody who can
Actually-
last 24 hours waiting for the earth elemental.
I say another option for you that you might want to explore is go out, swim underneath the island, see if there's a cave or a tunnel.
All right. You spend the next few hours, and there's some caves and whatnot that you explore that are just part of the landmass and air pockets and things like that. Nothing out of the ordinary.
I kind of want to go back up and talk to Solon because he can use like burrow and then like magic sense. Can't you? So you could
Can.
maybe point me in a more precise location.
You using me like a bloodhound?
You don't have to leave the room, really. You can like.
You don't have
To
to
use
say
burrow,
it
I kind of
outright.
have to leave the room.
Oh, great. Now I just got Dan's, like a pointer dog. He just like,
You know what? My dumbass was walking around the room with a cube in my hand. He can be a little more helpful.
All I'm going to point out is I'm not the one that requested the statue be made. I'm already doing something for you, god damn it.
all right. So,
Okay, I help her because I'll never hear the end of it, and
Is this supposed to be something I'm picking up, but I'm not understanding?
no, is it?
What do I roll?
What are you trying to glean? How are you going about this?
Dice.
You got plenty of dice around the house, damn it. I even got a nightlight that's a D20.
you could do intelligence to try to figure out another clue. You could go wisdom to try to follow your instincts on where to go. You could just dig a hole underneath the island and put it in and see what happens.
Okay, find out.
You dig a hole, put it in there. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass, an hour passes. I'm pretty sure nothing's happening.
I do like you picked the most irritating of my 3 suggestions. Roll an intelligence check, see if you can come up with another clue. Roll a wisdom check to see if you can lead your instinct.
I'm spending a point.
Dig a random hole.
21.
It goes back to, as you're sitting here frustrated as the, second night's coming to an end, and you spent most of your time walking around with a cube in your hand and digging holes and swimming.
Burying the cube.
There's something more to what he says, and it's more so what's sticking with you. The heart of the land. There's something more profound to that statement. I'm not giving you any more than that because that gives it away. You didn't get a.
Okay.
AFK, so she can't yell at me anymore.
That I can talk to that is local here.
What was your question? Sorry, I spaced out because your face is very frustrating and cute, and I got distracted.
My face is frustrated.
Yep, the look on your face is that of
I
frustration.
look frustrated.
Yeah, there you go. Mudslides, I tell you, they taste great, but woo!
Who do I have in my mental contacts list that is a local that I could talk to?
There's a bunch. You got Vorgoth, you have Siler, you have, I was going to say Nair, but she's MIA.
Womp womp womp.
You have Darius, you have Draven, you have a number of people.
I'm gonna try first.
Who?
Borga?
Okay.
I'll send him a mental message asking if the heart of the land.
How are
means
you
anything
sending a message to him, though?
I think really hard.
You have headaches.
I just. I asked who was in my mental contacts list that I can
Oh,
talk
you
to.
mean Dragon Lords. Drake, Xandric, your Papa, technically Gavin, Gideon.
Any of those do I know would have more intimate knowledge of where we are?
No.
Can I do a conference call?
You can
Question,
try.
Derek.
Yes.
Can that connect to another dragon disciple? Isn't what's his name? The Tyler, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Technically a
actually
Dragon Lord?
Dragon Lord. Yeah. Yeah, you can contact Borgot too, because he is a dragoon, pretty much. Yeah. Never mind. I like what you squirm. So you contact. We'll go with your first one because that's right. He is. What do you say to him?
I ask him if the heart of this great land means anything to him.
The heart of any great land. Its people.
So cut open your chest and insert the key.
That's not too far off of what I was thinking.
All I can hear, this is my land, this is yours.
All right, so I'm going to let you think on what you're going to do so we can progress things. And if you get an idea, spit it out. So that night, as you're going through your daily, routine, even though you don't have to sleep, you still have to take downtime to recover all your daily abilities, Charlie, and whatnot.
Yeah.
As you're in your meditation, if you will, of regaining your powers and the like, you feel and hear excruciating pain and anguished screams from Nair. And for but a moment, you can feel the pain she is suffering. And then it's cut off from you from feeling, and you're back to the void. And in that moment, even though it's just a moment, that heartbeat feels like a lifetime.
Do I get a sense of direction as even on this plane?
Give me a perception check. It's not on this plane. All right. If you think of anything that you wish to do, because it's getting late and I want to get as much done as possible,
Yeah.
let me know.
All right.
This does repeat for the next 3 days, all the way up until the 4th day when Josh's side stuff does happen. Each night, when you go through your nightly meditation, it does get more and more severe.
I could tell that first time that it wasn't on this plane. My first initial thought would have been, like, worst of the worst would have been Abaddon. Did I get any feeling from that? Or no?
There is a touch of Abaddon, but not
But I know that could just
Abaddon.
be Chiron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. I'm actually checking my notes here. I need you to give me a will save the second night, the third night, and the fourth night. We'll go in order if you want.
Any second night.
Yep. All right, you're good.
Is that a crit success then?
No, it's a success.
Well,
Oh, wait,
this
does it
is
turn into a crit?
Yeah.
Then it is a crit.
um.
You see a kind of throne, and beside it, you see Nair racked with excruciating pain. And that's all you see the second night. Can't make out full detail of the throne. Just you can tell it's kind of a stone throne. You see Nair in excruciating pain, as if her soul is being flayed.
Um. The only one I remember seeing sit on a throne would have been War. Um. I'm trying. I'm trying to think that if I would think it would have been, even if I thought and I wanted to say maybe War's domain, I would have no way of getting there, right?
Correct. Not without Xandric's help.
Because I critted during the night, the time that I know that I'm, when I, at the moment I know I'm feeling her pain. Just as a quick, desperate, like, send back, let her know I love you, I'm looking for you.
I need you to give me one more will save.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and let's, since it's days, I'll go ahead and do the token.
Okay. Okay. Just checking something real quick. All right. So you just succeed, and that's because the +4 to your daemons.
Mm-hmm.
As you say this, there is a moment of comfort in her before, again, you see her very soul being flayed as it just intensifies as you reach out to her. With you reaching out to her like that, you just see parts of her soul split open where you see absolute nothing. The empty void of what it is when a soul is absolutely destroyed. cracks like that within her ethereal form had begun to take root.
And I don't have any better grip on exactly where she is.
Nope, that's your second night. Third night. Unless you convene with any of your companions, third night comes.
I'll convene the Solon at that point.
What about Corel? You don't like getting no Raxus. You're just like, fuck these two guys. Go straight to Solon.
The entire party kind of just goes to Solon.
Fair.
Even Frank goes to Solon.
All right. So he goes to you, Solon.
Hello.
I'll let you know
I was-
that. Go ahead.
I was obviously paying attention to everything that was going on and was not distracted in the least by outside anything.
Trying to concentrate and get an actual beat on her. For the past 2 nights now, I've gotten a single blip, and it's her in pain, and her soul itself is being flayed.
Did you detect a signature of who was holding her?
It's a daemon.
Now, this is Daniel asking, not necessarily Solon. She disappeared from our group, correct? She wasn't off by herself or anything, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, like we woke up and she was just gone.
I can direct you towards which Damon's faction it is, but other than that, because it has to be war. Famine's incapacitated as well as all of Famine's minions. Death is incapacitated for the most part because they haven't brought the Avatar of Death back yet, or the Grim Reaper back yet, and nobody's taken Death's place to contend with them for the Death Demons.
I do tell you, I see her on a rack, and then I see a simple stone throne, which at that point, my first thought was war.
War would.
And I will tell you,
Damon's-
it's not on this plane that I know too.
You know, War's throne is made out of bone,
Mm-hmm.
not stone.
Pestilence has a very distinct technique, though, so it's obviously not Pestilence because there'd be rot or decay around.
Are they still the daemons up in the northeast? In the snow region?
Yeah, for the most part.
But I also know it's not on this plane. So how can you tell me exactly? Well, you already told me it's war, but
Go and use the observatory.
all right.
That should give you at least the coordinates.
That'll do.
Okay. You go. You use the observatory, and you focus.
Isn't the observatory not on this island anymore?
Oh yeah, it's in
Correct.
Draconia.
Correct.
How is he going to get to Draconia?
Oh wait.
I'll have to contact either Drake or Xandric. Or his dad.
It's my dad's been around us, so he is at least seen Nair.
Yeah.
I make the most
So is Xander,
awkward.
actually.
Yeah, I make the most awkward phone call and try and concentrate and get a hold of my dad.
Okay. You get a hold of him. Help expedite this. He scries on Nair, and he describes a realm that is eerily similar to your demi-plane.
Like how early is similar to him? Like
As he describes it, it matches your demi-plane.
Shit.
I was wondering if I was gonna go that route.
if it's like describing my Demi plane, and I remember what I described to you what I was doing. uh, that's an immediate going to the demi plane. Then
All right.
that's just me.
Do you all see
I don't.
Gavin? Nope, not you. You're too busy playing with your cube.
It's a Rubik's cube. It's gonna take her a minute.
You know,
Well, it wasn't originally Rubik's Cube until she chunked it, and she's trying to put everything back together. How it was. You teleport to your demi plane, and there you see Nair suffering. Her screams echo throughout your entire realm. You can see the cuts in her soul, the void of it nearly being completely torn asunder. And a voice, that of Quran. Surrender what you've become, and she will be free. And after he says that, you just hear more excruciating screams coming from her to the point where you're almost afraid she is going to cease existing. Huh?
Is he stopping me from? Is he stopping me from going to her, or can I go over to her?
No, you can go to her. It's as she's looking at you without looking at you. She is in so much pain that she sees past you. She sees oblivion on the horizon. That's fucked up, Sam. Bad.
I I hold her hand and I just say out loud, being as comforting as I can in that point with saying what I'm about to say. Even if this is really happening.
Oh, you get the
Yeah,
like
I
your
know I
soul
get
sense.
this.
It's really happening.
Say the pain that we've been through till now would have been in vain, and I would be dooming someone else to go through this. I, and I tell her I love her, but I can't.
You see what would be the equivalent of a tear roll down her eye, and your scythe materializes in your hands.
Against his will.
And you have a very heavy presence around you, as if watching.
I have a bad feeling about this. Before he does anything, can we think back and figure out what all was going on when we had her as his sole anchor? Is there any way that we can figure out if he has to kill her, what happens with that?
You have no idea what's going on right now. He just vanished.
No, I mean, I wasn't even there. This is all out of game.
You can try to figure it out. That's up to you.
Because this could either be a test between the woman or the job, or a test to see if he does do it, he's the only one who could sever the anchor, therefore putting his soul back up for grabs.
I mean, Chiron was one of the ones that was gonna put the anchor on, and gave me Nair. But so I am clearly reading this right, that he wants that putting her out of her misery. You said the scythe was.
You can, yeah, your scythe materialized in your hands. He says nothing but is watching.
Say that you choose the job, but you're not gonna learn.
Sam is so invested right now. It's amusing on my end.
You not? I am fucking hurting right now, man.
It's okay, Charlie. It's okay. We've all been there with Derek putting us in the spotlight.
Um. I grip her hand tight again.
You see the pain fade from her for a moment. And she says, I love you too, before closing her eyes and waiting.
Okay.
I
Because disappeared, because Gavin disappeared, I've been watching all this through my orb. Because I would have scried, what the fuck he's going? Because we've lost one party member already.
Mhm.
I am about to strike. Just
You get a message. Quit pussyfooting around your death. Death doesn't let things get taken from him. Take them back.
I take the scythe back. Let me see how I want to. I want to swing down to destroy the rack.
Okay. As you do, the puppeteer cross or X falls from where the rack was. And she falls to the ground in a solid form. Ah, you were correct. He is truly worthy of your mantle. My debt to you is paid, Reaper. And the presence fades.
Read that voice.
I hate that voice.
And Quran appears. Put your affairs together. 1 week's time, you journey with me. And he fades.
Gonna ride on the magic school bus, yeah.
So does anybody else have any existential riddles that they need me to solve for them?
Hey, Dan. I need Solon's help. You remember that whole heart of the land?
Yo.
Yep.
Just letting you know I have my own ideas. I'll be back.
So, while she's gone, I go to the center of the temple, and right in the middle of, because if I remember correctly, Derek, there's kind of a center pathway in this and the temple, the main
Yep.
temple itself. Correct?
Yes, sir.
I go right in the middle of where all the statues would be, and I look with my magic sight down.
Do not do this to me. I will go find a fucking cornfield and bury it.
Because, gods being the progenitors of this particular island, and right in the center of their main source of power and place of importance, right in the middle of all of them.
I hate you all.
The heart, in other words. Do I see anything, Derek?
You see, with your magic sight, you see where would be kind of, and it's kind of like an ethereal overlap where it would hold the cube, but then there's also an empty spot floating above it. And again, this is ethereal. There's an empty spot above it, to the left of it, and to the right of it, making a triangle. And you get the idea. Actually, give me a nature or a religion.
Nature. Crap. Anybody else have roll 20 timing out on them?
I've been having it all night.
I have not had it. Mine takes a bit for my rolls to show up anyway, even when it's not happening.
It finally came up for me. 27.
All right. So you get the idea that this is a trinity of sorts. You know that this island is one where the generators or the progenitors created life. So one of them would definitely be divine. What Vorgoth said holds a ring of truth. What is the heart of land? The people that toil, that toil over
No,
it.
Solon doesn't know that.
Fair, yeah, he doesn't know that. But it's a trinity that interlocks. It's a trinity.
I simply send a message to Araxis and says, "You've got part 1 of 3 power sources. Go to the center of the temple, right in the middle of all the statues, and that's where you can insert the power source. I'll even draw a picture so you know where it goes."
Solon doesn't get a mental message back, but off in the distance, he can hear a faint, "God damn it!"
All right.
Anybody else? Riddles need solving?
What is the
No.
meaning of life?
I'll go
You
back
said
to
I had
work
part
then.
1 of 3, right?
Yeah.
Technically, part 1 of 4. Because it's the center. Like I said, there was three that kind of make a trinity around it.
Oh, okay, I
Remember
see
how
it.
you
Yeah,
said
I thought it
it
was
one
part of the trinity.
4?
No.
We still have to find 3 more.
Considering this came from the center of the water, you're guessing somewhere on the Earth. Island is a power source, fire and air. And then maybe look deeper into the riddle to see if you can discover where those power sources may end up residing.
Okay, I have ideas.
Okay. Charlie or Gavin, you return with Nair. You have a week to get your affairs together before you're on a journey with Chiron.
One real quick thing. When Solon returns from helping Araxis, I'm like, we rely on you a bit too much, don't we?
I shrug my shoulders.
It's like how many times that you just suddenly disappeared because of someone asking you for help?
As he's sitting here chiseling away at the statue.
I simply shrug my shoulders and say, I don't get a lot of choice.
All right.
Good at riddles.
So, Gavin, you return with Nair, who
Good,
is
you
sound
didn't
asleep.
kill her.
Yep.
I simply said, good, you didn't kill her.
What do you do?
As she's asleep, I am going to lay her down, her head in my lap, and just sit with her. Someone's been drinking a little bit of wine, so she might be.
I've been drinking Kahlua, so I'm right there. So that's funny. I'm telling you, this Kahlua mudslide is dangerous. All right, so what do you do? Again, next week, I promise I will not be drinking this week. I wanted to drink. It's one of those rare times.
Oh, Wednesday.
Yep. So, yes, what do you tell him, Charlie, if anything?
I'll let them know that I have a week, and I will be gone for a while. I don't know how long. I wasn't told.
Good talk. Good talk. All right. So, if unless anybody wants to say anything to that or add on to that, the 4 days pass. All right. So 4 days have transpired. Josh, everything that happened in that side session has happened. You can inform them and tell them finally so we can get on with some various different things. So you have see 2 days or past. You have 3 days until you depart, Charlie.
Okay.
After what happens here.
All right.
And if you want, I'm going to have you play Nair while your character is gone.
All right.
Because Nair is not going with you.
Yep. I figured.
So this would be on the fourth night that happened.
Yep.
And since a couple things changed, the one thing doesn't actually happen. I actually come to the group with it. So
Which thing?
he doesn't, choose to do it right away. He goes.
Oh, yeah. You bring it to the attention of everyone. I gotcha.
So I think it'd be right away. So you'd all get woken up that night and Corell would come to you and be like, "We have a visitor with a proposition."
Oh, who's the visitor?
If you could follow me.
Dan, you there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So does everybody follow Corel?
Yeah.
All right. Everybody follows you, Corel.
I bring him to Okama.
Yeah, standing on the water. Solon, you know who it is. I don't know if Gavin would have ever met him, but you see Hokama standing on the water. Just looking out at the storm.
His proposition is he can give, what's the name, Elric? Yeah, Elric some sort of control over his, all we have to do is bring him to him and he'll do it for us.
He did ask for something in return.
Did he? Oh, he wanted some blood from Elric.
Yes.
We're going there in 2 days.
Now, I didn't know a whole bunch about him, but my grand risked a lot just to bring him back. And he is helping my people, so I kind of trust him.
If I didn't trust him, it'd be a weird place to say so. He's right over there.
Fair.
He's okay.
Do you actually know who he is, Zolan?
It's the vampire from Desert Kingdom.
Go back.
Go back. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah. I grew up with his son. Or used to play with his son. So did Gavin. Because we were born right around the same time.
Yep.
Give or take a few months.
Yeah.
We're all direct sons of lords, and we live in the same geographical area, so. Yeah, I get fine along with that family just fine.
Mm. I'm from Zobac, and I didn't know about him until recently, so.
He's been asleep for a lot of it.
Yeah, I got that part.
Does he actually have the power? Hey, Okama, do you actually have the power to ease the
I
curse?
can give him his mind free of the rage that binds him. All I ask is for a drop of his blood.
So, really, you
You-
want the introduction from us?
Oh, I was paying a favor to, or doing a kindness to your companion, Carell, for the actions of his recently departed grandmother.
Okay. I actively laugh in his face there.
Okay.
Okay. You and me both know that you getting a drop of his blood is more than payment for anything you could do here, because he's a progenitor. He's technically one step above your bloodline, because he's the blood brother, or literally the biological brother, of the person who created you.
He simply smiles at you.
Out of game, I had figured that out. I didn't think Carell knew enough about vampires to figure that out, so I didn't,
Well, it's not. Solon doesn't necessarily know about the vampire aspect of, drinking a greater being's blood in order to release shackles. But he does know that the blood of an entity generations older is more potent than the diluted blood of the preceding generations. And he's 2 generations removed from, or 1 generation removed from where his bloodline would originate. Now, it's not the same as if he was, drinking a drop of the Bloodlord's bloodline that would free him from his bloodline shackles. But this is a direct empowerment for him. A large direct empowerment from him. So let's not be kidding ourselves about this being a repayment of any favors or anything here. This is, you want us to make an introduction to you to names.
Ulrich.
Adhokama
I
was
know of my brother. I've met him many times. His current location I do not know. As your companion does. And this is a kindness for his grandmother giving her life to waken me earlier. I have caught up on much that has transpired. Allies you are in desperate need of. And what better than the living god, Hokama himself?
Again, he says this a little softer, but again, he's just like the pretentiousness of this guy.
I don't see a downside here. I'm just saying that
Well, I don't either. As long as no one's being harmed in it, I don't care. But
this is a direct facilitation of a deal between the fucking werewolf's name and Hokama. This is a direct facilitation of a deal between Ulrich and Hokama. And we all know what his sister will do to him if he hurts Ulrich. So
I think if he hurt Ulrich, he'd be pissing off his father.
Entire family.
Yeah. The Witch Queen. Yeah, no.
So again, I really want to finish this statue. I can't leave for 2 days. That's what it will take me in order to actually actually get there to free him. So kind of your choice on whether you want to bring him over there early or wait until I'm finished.
Well, and this frees him of his rage, where once before it wasn't entirely guaranteed. There was a part of it. He's offering to free him of the rage that binds him in its entirety.
I'd say go and take care of this now, and then I'll meet up with you guys when I'm done.
Anybody have objections?
Without me assisting you, wouldn't that take the time and increase it slightly?
Nair, could you bring him?
She nods.
Yep.
Okay, is everybody fine with this?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
All right. So, you take him to where Ulrich's prison is. And as you step in, immediately Kara senses the presence of another predator and lashes out. Ulrich, strains against his bindings, ripping flesh, snarling. As she lunges at Hokama, he's no longer there. And then before she can react, she is bound and light. Now become my dearest sister. And in quick motion, you see this gash just appear on Ulrich's neck before it heals. And in the corner of your eye, you see Hokama lick his finger dry. And then there is this just brief moment of this volatile kind of distortion of Hokama's body, the snapping of bones and reconfiguring. It's disturbing to watch before he goes back and puts his finger to his lip as if he hiccuped. He appears in front of Ulrich, and Ulrich goes to snap at him, And with quick succession, he holds his mouth shut and stares into his eyes. And then after 5, 6 seconds, the chains go loose. And you see this massive hulking werewolf body rescinded on itself. And he falls to the ground in a human form, unconscious. The lights dissipate around Kara, and Hokama is nowhere to be found. What do you all do?
I step back so not to be in the direct line of fire between Kara and the werewolf. Or
Okay. Corral? Araxis, anything?
Oh, I'm not there, am I?
Did you not go?
I got not because I was doing the Q stuff.
The only one that went was Nair, I thought.
Gotcha.
Question is, how long would this take? Not long, wouldn't it?
No, not at all.
So it wouldn't really have impeded me to
Mattered.
go because I don't sleep very long.
Yeah, then
I
it wouldn't have
sleep for
mattered
2
if
hours.
we went.
Yeah.
So we all went.
Okay, I was just curious who was there and if anybody, just giving an opportunity for y'all to do anything, if there's anything you wish to do.
I say to Kara, the rage has been removed. I'll be back in 2 days to free him.
She looks absolutely confused by what is going on and simply nods.
I teleport back to the temple because I want to get this job done.
You see,
but Solon, I need help
Those-
on my math homework. No, I'm joking.
you see Ulrich begin to stir, and as he lifts his head, what? Oh, and he's looking around, and he goes to jump up. His body a little weak, and then you just see the chains begin to dissolve. What's happened?
I nudge Krill forward.
One of your nephews freed you from your rage.
How?
You would have to ask him that. I'm not exactly sure how he did that.
I ask you.
Krill, you better be hoping he really took away his rage right now.
Again, I don't know exactly what he did to free you. All I know is he said he would not harm you. Or no one would be harmed in the exchange. And that's one of the things I cared about.
He looks at his body, and he's only seen his body one other time in centuries.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he was given that day with Kara. And Kara, she's in tears. And he puts his hands on her face and kind of just nuzzles her. And at that, the rest of the chains just dissolve. His endless rage no longer being the fuel source that binds him here.
How do you feel?
Clear. I don't like.
Yeah, it could take some getting used to when the rage subsides.
What do I do now?
I suppose that's kind of largely up to you and Kara. There's a lot of enemies on the field if you wanted to help out.
She looks at him.
Solon, even though he's gone, sent a message to the Bloodlord and to the Witch Queen that it may be appropriate timing to head over to see their brother. He's probably a little confused and could use some help right now,
Okay.
since no one thought to let them know yet.
And
Or-
as you
Pharrell would
say
have
this,
actually said, you know, that he would have brought up that his, you know, he would have thought about it. That his brother and sister, Lucian and the Witch Queen, does not know the name of her, so I'm gonna call her Witch Queen.
to be fair, that's
Or
what she allows anyone to call her, except for her brothers.
you happy to see him?
He cocks his head at you and looks back at Kara. Let's hunt. Or she says, let's hunt first. And he nods at her, and you see that kind of his pupils change to that more of a wolf's. And he lets go of her, and he is in a blink of an eye, he's the largest wolf you've ever seen. Looks like he could tackle a dragon. And they're gone. After a few moments, the realm, this little pocket dimension, begins to rumble as if collapsing.
Time to go.
Mm-hmm. It didn't go too bad.
As you step out, you see Hokama standing, looking up at the sky. And there's something different about him. This just will not do. And he raises his hand to the sky and clenches his fist, and you just see the storm dissipate. And he's gone.
He's an airbender.
Yeah. So for the first time in millennia, there is no more storm.
There's no more hurricane around the island.
Cool.
Well, that happened.
What do you all do?
I tell Crow, you get to tell Solon.
Which I'm not sure if the snowstorm thing's a good thing or a bad thing.
I know, which is why you get to tell him.
No takebacks.
Fine, I'll tell him.
When we do stuff, we own up to it. This is our new leaf.
Well, technically, I didn't do this. I actually brought this to the group.
You
As you
started
guys all decide.
you started the wheel turning.
And you guys help push it down the hill.
I am trying not to use the word little in my sentences with you right now. But will you please go tell Solon what you did? I have said 3 or 4 sentences to you without using short or little in any of them. You should be extremely proud of me.
Corral just grins at you.
That's funny.
I'm guessing the portal gets opened and we.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
He would then, of course, tell Solon if he's not already asleep. Or, actually, he's a ladrin, meditating. Because I don't believe ladrin actually sleep.
Nope, they fall under the elf category. So Solon, Mr. Carell has something to tell you. Yeah. Is Dan here?
Or is he muted?
Don't know. I do not know.
Did he fall asleep?
That I don't know.
Dan! Huh. Well, Dan disappeared on us. He may have fell asleep.
May have.
He's still on the Skype call. He is muted, though.
He might be on the phone.
Yeah, he might be.
Might have fell asleep. We'll give him a few minutes. Yeah, I do apologize, guys. I've been drinking pretty much the last 2 days. Just that time of year for me.
No worries, man.
So,
Next week, it'll be back to normals. You're gonna say something?
Kevin, I was just gonna put some small talk in there just to fill the void.
Go for it. While we wait for the Dan.
So, Kevin,
Uh-huh.
What's you say you've met his son? You like? I mean, your common son.
I mean, yeah, we played and stuff in Draconia. I understand that Solon spent a lot more time out and about than I did. My love for Draconia was outside the walls, mostly. Usually,
know,
as far away from the Temple of Bahamut that I could get, to where I was.
really?
When your father is the head champion to, at the time, all three dragon gods, you, and he's a bit headstrong, uh, it kind of puts a sour taste in your mouth.
Mm.
I'll be right back. Gotta use
Apologies, I
this.
had a bathroom
Oh, no
emergency.
problem. I had to take a piss too. So go ahead. Tell them what happened. Things happen. Stuff. People.
So Corel approaches you. I don't know if you've noticed, but the storm's gone. Apparently, Okama didn't like that I was there. I'm not sure if this is a good or a bad thing, or both.
He doesn't have the power to stop it. So he may have the power to pause it, but it should be starting up any time now.
So this is temporary.
Yep.
Does that mean we could actually go somewhere else? Do you want to do?
Yeah. And we have other stuff to do on the island,
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh.
or not just this island, but the islands.
Yeah.
It's
I have to
true.
use the restroom. I'll be right back.
There is
Mighty
some
bless.
places I wouldn't mind visiting outside the island. One being my home. I haven't seen it in a while. It'd be nice to see it.
Likewise.
See what become of it.
Likewise. Well, it hasn't, days wise, been the longest time I've been away from my family. It sure feels like it.
I think this has been the longest I've been away from home. Although there was the one bounty I had. I think that one lasted a month, and I was outside Hollow Rock for at least a month. So yeah, this is the longest. There's also a place in. Oh, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the land.
So back.
No, this is a different. Where's the Order of Palestone? I think it's.
I don't remember the name of the continent.
I don't either right off the top of my head.
I can't think of it right off the top of my head. Either way, there's a temple of Neshama there that I'd like to visit. Valeria. That's the name I'm looking for. How about you guys? Anything other than your home you'd want to visit? Outside the islands?
Home. We don't have any other use for the book of Pale Stone, so I should probably go return that.
Now, would you get in trouble for returning that?
Well, not if I show up, put the book down, and go away.
Oh, so when you were getting on me to take responsibility for the storm disappearing and this, it was only me that was going to take it. You're not the one that's going to take responsibilities for things. Okay, gotcha.
There's a difference between pausing the storm and returning the book. I returned the book. They saw me return the book. There's the responsibility. They know who did it.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So, what else do y'all want to do tonight before we call it anything else? Because your character disappearing in 2 days, Charlie.
I have 2 days.
Is
Well,
it 2 days or 3 days? I thought
Would
they were on the
be-
second night, and then
Yeah, it would be 3 days. Sorry, 3 days. 3 days.
Whew. That's still. With Nair, I can
Actually, it would have been a week. It would have been a week from the 2 days, which 2 more days pass. Yeah, it would be 3 days. 3 days.
Okay. With the storm gun, can Nair do teleporting off the island?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And you get the idea that for however long this holds, this is him doing a kindness. This wasn't asked of him. This wasn't anything bargained for. This was a kindness from Hokama.
I know at least over the next 3 days I have some places that I want to go to before I am whisked away for a bit.
Yeah. You're going to really be second guessing that whole becoming the new Reaper. So, is there anything y'all wish to take care of before we end this session?
No.
No.
I'm stuck crafting with Solon, so no.
Well, that's going to be finished within a couple days.
2 days.
Yeah. That gives y'all 1 day left you can spend with your good buddy Gavin. Hey, buddy.
We get a day together, guys. Yay.
I mean, can we figure out how long the storm's gonna be down for?
You have no idea. Drake could figure it out. Xander could figure it out because they're a high enough level. You all are not mythic level as far as I know in your respective spellcasting skills.
Nope.
Nope.
So yeah, it's beyond your means of figuring out.
Good.
But it also should speak to the power boost he just got, that he was able to do this for you all. Yeah, so like when we do the reboot and whatnot, just so like on record, my vampires run a little different than D&D vampires. Not all of them are daywalkers. Those happen to be because they're first gen vamps, and but also blood impacts vampires. They gain memories, they gain capabilities and whatnot. Specifically when they're older or more powerful vampires as well. Running water does shit to vampires because I always thought that was fucking retarded. And garlic doesn't do shit to vampires. We see previous statement. Um,
So it's more of a COD-based vampire,
what?
a Chronicles of Darkness style.
Yeah,
Almost.
actually more like old school superstition vampires. The whole garlic thing really didn't happen until when was it? I can't recall the time it appeared up, but that's the whole running water and garlic thing is more like around Bram Stoker's time. Um, Stake to the heart does not kill vampire, but puts them into a stasis where they can be easily killed and not turn into mist and various different things like that. Um, yeah, so the vampires in the next campaign, or when we go to the reboot, because we're taking a break from fantasy and going back to a dear game that I grew up on, World of Darkness, now Chronicles of Darkness, or its offshoot is Chronicles of Darkness. So, unless nobody else has anything, we're going to call it. I'm going to go spend some time with Sam, drink a little more, get some sleep. Next week, I'll be back to normal, guys.
All right. Talk to you later.
What?
What about my block?
Your block? Your block? All right, take it easy, guys.
See.
Bye-bye.
Later.